Section 7.5, dividing with exponents, part 1. So our last property, or last two properties, I guess, for this section or chapter. The first one is dividing powers with the same base. So you'll notice we have a fraction here. We have the same base, a and the rule is, the shortcut is that you would subtract your exponents. Just make sure that a is not equal to 0 and m and n are integers, meaning whole numbers. So if we look at our example, we have 2 to the 6 divided by 2 squared. You would keep the 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. And why does it work this way? Well, if we have 2 to the 6th power, remember 2 to the 6th power is multiplying 2 6 times. And then if I divide that by 2 squared, what happens is this 2 could cancel with that 2, this 2 could cancel with that 2. Well, you're left with 4 2's on the top, which makes 2 to the 4th power. All right, so here are a couple other examples. You can look through them. The first one's pretty simple, but if we look at B, we've got 2 letters, so we just have to make sure that we are subtracting the correct exponents corresponding with the correct letter. So we have m to the negative 3 and n to the positive 1, but because that m has a negative, that's why they end up moving it down to the bottom. Okay, let's do a couple together and then you can try some of them on your own. Let's try A here. Okay, we have the same base of y, and 5 minus 4 makes 1. So we have y to the first power. Okay, let's jump down to D. We have 2 variables, a and b. We would keep the a. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. And then we have the b, 7 minus 2 is 5. Because a is negative, it goes down to the bottom, and you have b to the 5th over a to the positive 8. Go ahead, push pause. Why don't you try the other 3 on your own, and then we'll go over them. All right, for b, you should have d to the negative 6. Let's change this into 1 over d to the positive 6. For c, 6 minus 1 would be a 5. 2 minus 5 is negative 3, which changes into k to the 5th, j to the 3rd. And then for letter E, you've got 3 variables. So x to the 4th divided by x to the 4th, well, those are the same thing. And anything divided by itself is going to make 1, so those are going to just cancel. Or they'd make x to the 0, which again would just cancel. So I'm not even going to worry about that. We have y, negative 1 minus negative 5. Negative 1 minus a negative 5 becomes 1 big plus, so it becomes y to the positive 4. Then we have z, and 8 minus 1 is a 7. So this would be your final answer. Okay, moving on to a couple word problems talking about population density. Population density describes the number of people per area. So to calculate it, you would take your population and you're going to divide by the area of the country or wherever you are. So it says during 1 year, the population of Angola was 1.21 times 10 to the 7th power. The area is 4.1 times 10 to the 5th. So what is the population density? So we need to take 1.21 times 10 to the 7th, and we need to divide it by 4.81 times 10 to the 5th. Okay? We can start with the times 10, because that's not going to be too difficult. We would keep the times 10. 7 minus 5 is 2. Where you might need a calculator is now dividing out these two numbers. So 1.21 divided by 4.81, and you get a really long decimal. So let's go out 3 or 4 decimal places. So I'm going to do 0.2516. Now, that is not written in the correct scientific notation form. So we need to move this decimal in between the 2 and the 5, which means we got to change our exponents. So when it was here, we had to move it 2 spots. Now it's here, I only have to move it 1 spot. So this would be your answer. Okay, let's try the next one. During 1 year, Honduras had a population of 7.33 times 10 to the 6th power of people. Area is 4.33 times 10 to the 4th power. What was the population density of Honduras that year? So we take our population, and we're going to divide it by our area. Okay, and I'm going to do the times 10 again because that's the quick one. So 6 minus 4 is 2. I go over to my calculator. I get 7.33, and I divide it by 4.33, and I get, again, a big long number. So I'm going to go out 1.693. That's written correctly. It's a number between 1 and 10. We're done. All right, that is the end for the first part. Go ahead and you can work on your homework.